Tomorrow night, President Biden will deliver his State of the Union address.
It would be his first one with a Republican majority in the House of Representatives, and the White House tonight is saying that the president plans to talk about his achievements over the last 2 years. The White House adding the president will lay out his agenda before Americans and amplify his message that Democrats and Republicans can in fact work together.
I want to talk to the American people and let them know the state of affairs, what's going on, what I'm looking forward to working on from this point on, what we've done, and just have a conversation with the American people.
This will be President Biden's second State of the Union before Congress, but the first with a House controlled by Republican Speaker Kevin McCarthy.
And ahead of tomorrow's address, U.S. Capitol Police now ramping up security around the nation's capital.
That's right. KCAU-9's Washington correspondent Anna Wernicke now has some more on the increased security measures in our nation's capital.
Fencing and security barriers went up around the U.S. Capitol on Monday, ahead of President Biden's State of the Union address.
We take violent threats seriously because we've lived them.
The ramped-up security comes as Democrats expressed concern for the high-profile event, when the president, vice president, and cabinet secretaries will be together with nearly all members of Congress and the Supreme Court in the House chamber. In a letter to congressional leadership, a group of 14 Democrats, including California Congressman Jared Huffman, said recent Republican changes put the, quote, very seat of American democracy at risk.
We know there are members across the aisle who have tried to take loaded weapons into the House chamber. And there's been an interception of that, thankfully.
With their new majority, Republicans removed rules preventing lawmakers from carrying guns inside committee rooms. Republicans also removed the metal detectors set up outside the House chamber after January 6th.
But Republicans say they aren't concerned about safety at Tuesday's State of the Union address.
I have confidence that it's going to be a secure event.
I don't think we'll have a problem. And if we do, we have a great Capitol Hill police. They can take care of those problems.
Security at the State of the Union is led by Secret Service, with help from state and local law enforcement, federal agencies, and military partners. In Washington, I'm Anna Wernicke.